Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Module 7, which actually starts on Monday. But as I mentioned in the Zoom class this past week, I was going to release the materials early so those that want to get a head start or want to start thinking about your final assignment can get going on that at any time. And before I get into the actual specifics, I just wanted to mention to you the week 7 material, the module 7 materials are, they've been modified to some degree from what was in the syllabus. And what I mean by that is there's very little that you have to do beyond actually writing or finishing up your matrix and writing your final paper before the course ends. Specifically in Module 7, we are going to be, I'm asking you to read, but there's no discussion forums. Nothing's going to be handed in. I really would rather you read Chapter 15, and I'll go through this in a minute, but read Chapter 15 and then take a look at Chapter 17 for instructions on the actual final paper. But I really wanted you to be able to focus your last week on the actual final paper rather than waiting till next Sunday and then start and have 3 days for that. So you may be wondering why this week's a little bit different. I just cut some materials, but you have, at the end of this week, you will have covered everything in this course. Okay, let's get to the materials. So this week, we're going to be doing a couple of things. We're going to be taking a look at the action research, and specifically the action research is in Chapter 15, and then I'll discuss the final review and then the data matrix. So as you know, the data matrix is due this Sunday, which is the 14th, and on the 14th, all you have to do is submit to me the matrix, just fill in the table. There's a tremendous amount of information on that in the weekly materials last week. And also, please take a look at the Zoom class session, the recorded Zoom session, because there's tremendous information in there about the matrix and also the final assignment. So let's get right to it. This is the last formal week of the class, and I want to congratulate everybody for making it this far. This is not an easy class, and in a 7-week format, it's just accelerated and a little more intense. So thank you for sticking with the materials. Okay. During the week, we're going to be reading about practitioner and/or action research. We will understand the steps in conducting action research. I'd like you to read Chapter 15. Then I'd like you to, it's not due until August 19th, start writing or write your final review assignments. Please take a look at Chapters 16 and 17. Both of these are very applicable, and I think they're often overlooked when people are writing their assignment, this final assignment. Please reread Chapters 16 and 17 because they really do walk you through the process of how to do it and what to do. Here's the specific information on the final review. I will not go through that. I do want to mention there's a little bit of discrepancy in the information. The template that I have attached in the assignments, and I'll show you where that is, has a little bit different titles, subject titles for the paper. I'd like you to use these in here: review of the literature, purpose, hypothesis, data collection, data analysis, writing of an organization, conclusion, recommendations, and then the action research. That's the format I'd like you to use, but I've had some questions from people saying, can I modify this a little bit? I will say, yes, you could. The important thing is that you actually cover all of the areas that I will be evaluating in the actual final assignment. So what I mean by that is if you come down here, this is where you submit the final assignment. Once again, it's the same instructions. And this really is action research proposal. It is not, it could be it's at the end of your paper. It is not a full-blown proposal. Really what I'm interested in is 2, maybe 3 paragraphs about, okay, this is the subject that you just wrote about, 6 articles on the subject you're interested in. Now, if you were in charge and you were conducting action research on this subject, what would you do? What would you be looking for? You don't, like I said, you don't have to submit a 5-page proposal. This is really your thoughts on future research, not qualitative or quantitative, but action research. This is practical research. But if you come down here, there is a rubrics. Now take a look at the rubrics, see how I will be scoring your final assignment. There's also, let me click on this, I'll show you the final assignment. Click on it. Just give it a moment to chug away. So once again, it's the same information. There's a template, a final review template. You will see in there, I don't know why, but it seems like there's some discrepancies in the headings, and I believe it has to do with how this course is morphed over a bunch of years. Look at the template, use what you can out of that, but once again, I'd like you to use these titles in the paper, or some modification of that. Now, if you do use all of the headings that are in the template, I'm not going to mark you off for that. And really what I still do is I use the rubrics to actually assess what you wrote. So if you have any questions on that, it's a little bit confusing, but not really when you understand what it is that I'm asking. I still am asking you to cover all of the bases and to keep things straight. If you haven't written it yet, I'd just like you to use these headings. So that is really it at this point. Like I said, I'm going to go back to Module 7. So once again, we're covering action research this week. Action research is sometimes it's called practitioner research. It is what I consider a very practical type of research that does follow a standard procedure, but it isn't held to quite the same level or the standards of qualitative, formal qualitative and formal quantitative research. And what I mean by that is it's probably most people in this class have conducted some form of action research in the past. This is a type of research that you decide to conduct to find out the answer to some kind of question. And it could be why people are not, or what are the best ways to implement new best management practices for grading papers. So you send it out. It doesn't have to be formal. You do document what you're doing, but generally you don't get down into, just say you send out a survey, you don't get down into the formal data collection, data analysis of the statistics, etc. So, once again, I think everybody in the class is probably familiar with this type of research. It's all the way from formal to informal, but as you'll find out in Chapter 15, there are procedures to follow when you're doing that. So if you have any questions on the materials, any questions on the final assignments, please reach out to me. So let me just switch gears here. I'm going to go back and just give you a preview. I'm going to go to, I'm on my view at this point. Coming to assignments. We've done the article captures, we've done the qualitative, the visual displays. I have 13 more papers to grade with the experimental critiques. I will get to those today. Tomorrow I'm out of commission, but I'll be back on Saturday, and I fully expect to have all of these graded by the end of the day on Saturday. The data matrix is due on the 14th. The final research paper is due on the 19th. Class participation, I will grade that, and that will be at the end of the course. And then the course takeaways. I encourage everybody, when you have everything done, to do the course takeaways. It's, quite frankly, an easy way to pick up 5 additional points in the course. And we don't have a lot of points. We've, 100 points or a little less than 100 points, or 100 points. So if you can pick up 5 points, that could be the difference between an A or an A minus, or an A minus and a B plus, etc. So I really do. I appreciate any kind of comments, constructive comments that people have on this course. So that is it, everybody. I am, as of this moment, I'm making the materials available. And as you move forward, please let me know. I'm around. The only day I'm not around is Friday, but short of that, I am around. And if you have questions on completing your matrix, questions on completing your final assignment, or the course, complete when you get that submitted, the actual comments, course takeaways, let me know. That is it for me, and we'll see you online. I wish you the best in the next week. Bye.